Welcome to episode 11 of the K&A Football Podcast, week 2 of our pick'ems. This week, Kate and I will be going through our picks for who's going to win week 2, who's going to come out on top, and who's going to be a total bust. Let's find out. We're obviously going to be guaranteed to be 100% correct. Welcome to episode 11. All right, Caden, week 2 has officially begun. Last night, Chargers and Chiefs played. As you can see, or if you're not watching as you're about to hear, we both chose the Chargers to win last night, and obviously the Chiefs came out on top. Just barely squeaked out a win, but nonetheless, we got that pick wrong.
We did. I think it was a good game like we both predicted, but we both talked before, the Chargers should have won this game. There was there was 3 interceptions Mahomes threw that were called back, which, were a little bit, you can think of what you want, but they looked pretty clean to me. They probably should have stood as interceptions. And then also at the end of the game, Justin Herbert got hurt. He got hit in the ribs real hard. So he was struggling to just even move throughout the rest of the game. So the Chargers, they dominated the Chiefs on every aspect, but Chiefs, they pulled off the magic and won.
Yeah. It's incredible to me how much Patrick Mahomes can be very bad all game and then suddenly be like, oh yeah, I'm going to play football now. And then in 3 plays, they score.
Yeah. It's a little, if I'm a Chiefs fan, they didn't play great, but they won. They're 2-0. It reminds me a little bit, not 100% the same, but last year when the Cardinals started 7-0 and then they fizzled out. I don't think the Chiefs are going to fizzle out like the Cardinals did, but I don't think they're as good as an undefeated team should be. Granted, it's only 2-0, but I think that there's going to be better 2-0 teams. I don't think they're one of the best teams in the league, but
yeah.
Real quick, still 2-0, but
while we're a little bit on that topic, do you think that we'll have an undefeated team this year?
No. I think the only team, the regular season or
72 Dolphins style.
No, I don't think it's ever going to happen again.
No?
Especially now with they added an extra game.
Yeah.
And so if they do add that extra game and you're undefeated going into that time, when you get down to the last couple games, you're going to rest your starters because you don't want to get hurt for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And your starters, what?
I don't know. I feel like maybe not this year. I'm not saying this year, but I'm saying there's got to be some coach out there at some point in time that if they're undefeated at that point, they want to get that. If there's an aggressive enough coach that they'd want that. I feel like it could happen. I feel like you're right that a lot of coaches would be like, oh, we're going to rest our starters for this week and whatever else. But I think it could happen again.
Anything could, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think teams are too good now. Players are too good. There's too much film and technology around to just. Yeah. I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be awesome if it did. But
it'd be pretty cool. All right, let's jump into our picks for Sunday and the Monday night games. First one we got up there, Bengals, Cowboys. This is obviously going to be an interesting one. The Bengals coming off a horrendous loss. They looked absolutely terrible. Joe Burrow threw every interception possible, and Evan McPherson could not make a kick to save his life. And the Cowboys obviously do not have Dak Prescott for who knows how long. And they haven't signed any quarterbacks, so as of now, they're starting
Cooper Rush,
which just sounds like off-brand Cooper Cup.
Yeah, Cowboys with Dak Prescott did not look good last week. Granted, they were playing the Bucs, who are a good team, but at the same time, the Bengals didn't look good either, but they still managed to make it a game, brought it to overtime, and then, like we said, should have won if it had not been for Evan McPherson missing. I think it'll be a blowout with Cooper Rush, especially in his first game this season. They didn't look good last week with Dak, and now they're going from Dak to Cooper Rush. I don't see how they improve at all. And I think the Bengals are going to be a little upset after last week. They played awful. They probably Burrow's probably focused in, not going to throw 4 interceptions again. They're probably straight focus, want to turn the tide, and I think the Bengals will kill them.
You're taking the Bengals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I don't see a world in which the Cowboys end up taking this one. Got to be the Bengals. Then, after that one, got the Jets and Browns. Obviously, the Jets lost to the Ravens, so there's that. And the Browns, somewhat,
Say what you want.
with some aid.
Say what you want.
Say with some aid, the Browns pulled away with a victory over the Panthers. So for this one, is Zach Wilson back?
No, Zach Wilson's out for at least 4 weeks.
Okay.
So Flacco's still playing for them.
Okay. I had heard that maybe he was, I heard that he's back in training camp at least. Or he's back practicing and whatever. Yeah. So I thought that maybe he might be playing this week, back way sooner than expected. But
yeah, I think they put him on the IR, so he's automatically out for 4 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Browns. I don't see how the Jets are going to pull this one out.
Yeah. I think the Browns defense is incredible. Baker, think what you want, but Baker is a pretty solid quarterback. Chris McCaffrey is a great running back. DJ Moore is a good receiver. And DJ Moore got completely blanketed by Denzel Ward last week.
Yeah.
The Browns defensive line did great against the Panthers offensive line, which is greatly improved from last year. And then Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are unstoppable. So, the Jets, they got Joe Flacco in there. He's not, starter caliber anymore. So,
yeah. Still riding the coattails of the 2012 playoff run.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think this is, again, going to be another blowout game. I think it'll be low scoring, but the Browns will still blow them out, if that makes sense. The Browns, it won't be a lot of points scored, but the Jets will score very little. The Browns will score not a lot, but they'll still blow them out. One of those, 3-17, 3-21.
It'll look like the Browns are doing better.
Yeah, the game will be boring, but the Browns will handle them easily the whole game. I don't know why I was putting this up. Yeah, you got that. And then the next game, the Panthers at the Giants. I don't really know how to feel about this one because the Giants have sucked for so long. And now, last week, they're coming off of a win, a nice win against the Titans.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley looked like he was a rookie again, and he looked phenomenal. Their offensive line looked good. They were opening up holes. They played like a competent team. And then there was reports this week that their rookie defensive end, the fifth overall pick, Kayvon Thibodeau, is supposed to make his debut. But then it came out just like an hour ago that he's doubtful. So that is a little reassuring. But, sorry, I just lost my train of thought because of that. But I think I saw a stat that Baker is 3-0 in his career after a week 1 loss, which, it's only a small sample size in 3 games, but I think the Panthers are a better team than the Giants by a decent amount. I think we have enough to stop Saquon. I think the Panthers will win. And I think, Giants are favored in this one, which I was shocked to see. I know. That was my exact, I was like, wow, I understand we lost to the Browns, but I didn't know people were down on us that bad. But, I think the Panthers will win. I think they'll win pretty handily, but
I'm with you on this one. I think that Baker plays some of his best football when, 1, there's no expectations, and 2, when there's a chip on his shoulder. So losing last week when, probably he as well feels like he should have won, and it being a revenge game and all the pressure and everything, I think that he's going to come in guns a-blazing. He's not going to be afraid. And now they've had some in-game experience with, everything working as a unit, and right. I don't think that the Giants are good. So I'm going to also take the Panthers, which is a little boring that now we have 3 agreements in a row. But
looking ahead, I think that there's a decent amount of games that are could go either way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, now he's in the second game of the system, which 2 games isn't a lot, but it's a lot more than last week. He had no
more than 0.
No game. A lot more than 0. He had no game experience going into the last game, and with all the hype around it, this one, no one's gonna be watching this. Everyone's like, "Oh, Baker sucks. Panthers suck." Like you said, he does good with no expectations, and now he's got more games with the group. DJ Moore, I'm expecting to have a good game. He's not being guarded by Denzel Ward anymore. I'm expecting him to make up for week 1, and I think that they'll get Christian McCaffrey involved early and often, unlike last week. I think they learned from their mistake.
He had 3 rushing yards.
I expect him to get involved a lot early, so that'll open up a lead, and then we'll just run with it.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, hopefully. Anything could happen. The next game is a tough one. Dolphins and Ravens. The Dolphins won last week against the Patriots, and the Ravens beat the Jets. What do you think about that one?
This is tough. All right. If you remember last week, I took the Dolphins, or I took the Patriots to beat the Dolphins.
Yeah.
This is difficult because the Dolphins looked good. They looked fast. The Ravens also looked good, but they were playing the Jets, so it's not much to base off of. It's basically like the Ohio State game this weekend, Ohio State Toledo. It's just a practice match for the Ravens last week. Man, this is tough. I'm gonna take the Ravens in this one. I'm going to take the Ravens, man. I don't know. I'm not high on Tua. I won't be high on Tua until he wins a Super Bowl.
What?
So, even if they go 18-0, 17-0 in the regular season, not going to be high on until he wins the Super Bowl.
It's not Tua until he wins the Super Bowl, I guess.
Exactly. So I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yeah, that's more fun because I'm picking the Dolphins. I think the Ravens' skill positions, aside from Lamar and maybe Mark Andrews, are terrible. Their receivers are awful. Hopefully J.K. Dobbins is back for this game, but it will be his first game back in like a year. So he'll be a little rusty. He'll have to shake that rust off. It might take him a couple weeks. But I think the Dolphins, first of all, their offense is literally insanely fast. They got Mostert, who's the fastest running back in the league, and they got Waddle and Tyreek Hill, who are the quickest receivers. So you're not going to stop their offense speed-wise. And then obviously the Ravens, their offense is built around Lamar Jackson and his ability to run. But the Dolphins' defense is also incredibly fast. I think that they can do a good job at containing Lamar Jackson with their speed. I don't think he'll be able to break off for too many runs. So, I mean, I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good one, but I think the Ravens are going to win. Or not the Ravens, I'm sorry. I think the Dolphins are going to win.
Well, it's Stephen A.
There. We talked about that last week, right?
We did, yeah. We talked about that on Monday. All right, this next one. This one's interesting for me because it's the football team at Lions. This one's interesting because the Lions and Eagles played last week, and the Eagles won. And it was a close game, and the Lions looked good.
It was.
The football team looked good, even though they were only playing the Jags.
Commanders.
The football team. So, I don't know, man. Wentz looked good. I know that we're saying that he's the problem quarterback. Not a Jared Goff fan, personally. For one more week, I'm going to take not the Lions, and I'm going to take the football team.
Okay. Last week, like Austin said, the Commanders beat the Jaguars. And then the Lions lost a very close one to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I know you can't really base two teams off of this, but the Lions lost a very close one to a very good Eagles team, who we both believe. And the Commanders, man, that's weird to say. I don't like that. I'm going to call them the football team.
Just go with the football team.
The football team played, barely beat a not-so-great Jaguars team. I think the Eagles are a lot better than the Jaguars. I'm not basing it just off that aspect, but I think Carson Wentz really shined last week, but he was facing a Jaguars defense, which is not good.
And he almost threw away the game.
He did almost throw away the game. He didn't look, I mean, he looked good. He had good stats and everything, but he's playing one of the worst teams in the league. They had back-to-back first-round picks. No defense, no offense, and they barely beat him. The Lions, sure, they gave up a lot of points, but the Eagles have a great offense. I think they'll be one of the better offenses in the league this year. And their defense is also greatly improved from the draft and free agency and all that. And they still put up 35 points. So I think, and it's back. It's in Detroit. They got the home field advantage. I think the Lions are going to win.
We'll see.
They're going to get their first win in a while.
If there's one thing that I've learned from last week, it's don't go with the safe pick. Don't go with the pick.
I'm not calling it a safe pick. I don't know. I wonder who's favored.
I'm sure the Lions are favored.
Let me hear. While you start talking about this next one.
Yeah, go find out if the Lions are favored.
I'll look it up while you're looking at this next one.
There's Lions are definitely favored.
Are you sure?
No shot. All right, next one. Colts Jags. Not much to be said. Taking the Colts.
Really?
What, you taking the Jags?
Well, I think there's more to be said than that. Lions are favored by 1. I thought the Commanders would be favored. I'm a little surprised by that. But I know there's not much to be said, but I think there is. Or you said there's not much to be said.
I said there's not much to be said.
Yeah.
You said what you think needs said.
I think the Colts should beat them. Look, on paper, they're like the way better team by a long shot. But Jacksonville, they were right there last week with the Commanders, who aren't a great team, but they were right there to getting a win. They're getting better. They got Doug Peterson, their head coach. This is his second game now with the team. He's getting more familiarity with the team and the players. And Matt Ryan and the Colts last week should have, again, destroyed the Texans and tied in overtime with the Texans, which, how are you going to tie with the Texans? I mean,
yeah.
But I will say they were getting destroyed in that game, and then they showed that they can come back. They showed why they should have won the game, and they dominated them the fourth quarter and sent it into overtime.
Yeah.
So I think they'll win because they showed that they can score points and do what they need to do to win games and come back. But I think it'll be closer than what people think. But I think the Colts will win. But the Jaguars will make it a game. They haven't won a game in I saw a thing. They haven't won a game in America in over 2 or 3 years.
That's so true because they won in London last year.
Their only win last year was in London.
That's incredible. That's a fantastic stat.
It is a great stat. But and I don't think it's going to start now. I don't think their first win in America is going to be against the Colts, who I think is a good team. Matt Ryan now in his second game with the Colts. More familiarity there.
Yeah.
Jaguars, no one really cares about them because they aren't good. So I don't think a lot of Jaguars fans are going to care and go to the game. They won't have a good support. So I think it'll be the Colts, but I think it'll be closer.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, kind of low on the Colts after what happened last week. All right, and so the next game, I've done a lot of thinking about this one. The Bucs and the Saints, divisional game. Tom Brady has struggled against the Saints in the regular season as a Buccaneer. So what are your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts are, I think that the Buccaneers are the better team out of the two of them. The Buccaneers should win, but I'm going to take the Saints. The Saints last year absolutely locked down Tom Brady in the regular season.
They did.
He could do nothing. He threw for 0 yards against them last year. And I know that it's not the same team that the Saints had last year, but I'm going to take the Saints in this one. Tom Brady didn't look great last week.
He didn't.
The Bucs overall didn't look great last week. It was a game of mostly field goals and a touchdown to Mike Evans. So I'm going to take the Saints.
Yeah, I've done a lot of thinking. I think I don't want to pick the Saints, but I do want to pick the Saints because like we said, the Bucs did not look good last week. A game of field goals, like we said, but the Saints, we can say, they won. They came back, but they didn't look good either. For literally 3.5 quarters, they were getting owned by the Falcons, who some might say is going to be the worst team in the league this year. And then they came back on the Falcons, and they're like, oh, this proves that they can come back because this proves they're a good team and can come back because they came back against the Falcons. They came back against the Falcons.
Let's just say that real slow.
Yeah, they came back against the Falcons. The Falcons are the worst team at holding a lead ever. I've seen so many things on it.
Hold on, really quick.
I've seen so many things on Instagram about them choking games. It's not even funny. They cannot hold a lead. I don't care if they're up by 30. They're going to lose it. So I don't think that means nothing for them coming back.
Yeah.
I think 100%. It says more about the Saints, how they were getting destroyed, than how they came back.
Absolutely. Did you see, really quick, this is a little off topic, so jumping back to the Colts thing a little bit. Did you see Matt Ryan's 60,000th passing yard? The ball that he threw for it, the ball number was 283.
It's in the Hall of Fame, and it's in a frame.
Yeah.
And the ball sticker is right there.
283, which is just perfect.
If you don't know what Austin's talking about, he's talking about 28-3. The Falcons shockingly choking because the Falcons choke, which is what I'm trying to say.
Which is what you were getting at, right?
Falcons,
that's why it relates.
Right, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I wasn't dogging on
No,
you.
yeah, I was explaining to the
Falcons
viewers.
choke doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything that the Saints came back. I think it means more that they were losing that bad. And I think, yeah, Saints are. It's in New Orleans, so the Saints got that home field advantage. But I think Tom Brady's probably done a lot of he's heard all the talk and the crap about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't beat the Saints in the regular season. I'm sure he's like, guys, let's change that. All this getting ready preparation film. I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to this one. But I think the Bucs will win.
Interesting.
I'd love to be wrong. Wait, no, I wouldn't. I would not love to be wrong. I hope the Bucs win, but I think they also will win. So
Both teams are in your division,
Right.
so it's a lose-lose.
right, both teams 1-0, so it's like, well, if one of them's going to be 1-0 or 2-0, one's going to be 1-1.
Yeah.
Unless they tie, that'd be awesome. Next game, Patriots Steelers.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, I have said
Interested.
many times. You're interested? Do you really not know who I'm going to pick?
No.
Really? Okay. I said many times, and I'm going to say it again. This will be the last time I say that this year.
No. it won't.
The Patriots are dramatically regressing this year.
Dude, I am so proud
That's
of
2
you.
weeks in a row. I
I
said
am
it the
so
right
proud
way.
of you.
The Patriots aren't good. And that's really all there is to it. They didn't get anyone this offseason. They lost people. Mac Jones is overrated. Their offensive coordinator got named literally week 1, the day before. So, how are you going to adjust and call those plays if you don't have a whole offseason to work? They named it the day before. They have no skill position. Their defense is all right, but the Steelers' defense looked literally phenomenal against the Bengals last week. They got 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery against Joe Burrow, who went to the Super Bowl last year. And now they're going from Joe Burrow to Mac Jones. I think they're going to have a field day with Mac Jones, and I think the Steelers are going to just whoop on the Patriots.
Really, man? I am of the exact opposite mindset.
Wow.
I'm in my mind, there is no way the Steelers walk away winning this one. None.
No way.
Way.
That is crazy.
To me, even though the Steelers defense absolutely balled out, it says more about the Steelers than it does the Bengals. The fact that you can pick off Joe Burrow that many times and sack him that many times and still barely win a game, and they should have lost 3 separate times.
Right.
So, to me, that says more about the Steelers than it does the Bengals. Did the Bengals look bad? Yeah, but the fact that the Steelers couldn't capitalize off of, 4 interceptions, 7 sacks, and the Bengals had a lot of opportunities to win, to me, that says the Patriots are going to win.
I mean, I agree with you in the fact that you said it says more about the Steelers than it does the Bengals. I agree with that, but I think it says that the Steelers' defense is incredible. And yeah, their offense might be a little mediocre, but don't sleep on the Bengals' defense. I mean, they got a respectable defense. They went to the Super Bowl. You can't go to the Super Bowl if you don't have a good defense. Yeah. And they just got better this offseason. So I think it says more about the Steelers than the Bengals too, but I think it shows that their defense is out of this world. I think that
defense wins championships.
Defense does win championships.
Only if your offense can score. And Mitch Trubisky cannot score.
You can get a pick 6.
Are they going to get 4 pick sixes?
All they need is one
on Sunday?
because the Patriots aren't going to score.
Patriots are going to score.
7-0, Steelers win off of a pick 6.
I know that you're too young to gamble, but if that happens, unofficially, $20 bet. 7-0. Okay, Rams Falcons. What do you got to say about this one, Caden? The Rams got bodied by the Bills last week.
Rams did get bodied, but the Rams, like we just literally said, they got bodied last week by the Bills. But the Bills are a phenomenal team, literally Super Bowl favorites this year. The Bills looked great. The Rams looked okay for the first half, and then the second half they were just done. Mm-hmm. I think the Bills are a great team, so you can't really disregard the Rams for that.
Absolutely.
The Rams, they will be upset about what happened last week. They had a long rest now preparing for week 2. I think right off the gate they'll go out, they'll take an early lead and just run with it for the rest of the game. I think even if the Falcons do somehow have a lead, which won't happen, but if it would happen, they would just choke it away again because it's the Falcons and they don't know how to hold a lead. So I think Cooper Kupp did great last week against the Bills defense, which is a good defense. And now he's going against the Falcons defense, which is terrible. So I think Cooper Kupp is due for a monster game. And I think Cam Akers will do a lot better. he got 0 yards last game. I think he's going to start getting stuff because they'll be blowing him out by a lot more. They'll give him to him more. I think the Rams will blow him out pretty easily, and I'm pretty sure you're going to pick the same thing.
Oh, yeah, Rams for sure. So glad I have Cooper Kupp. Yeah, and at least one in my fantasy leagues. Hey, why are you putting my name on the Falcons? Get over to the Rams. I don't want the Falcons. All right. Broncos country did not ride.
They did not. The kick was the kick was wide.
The kick was wide. That's good. All right, Broncos Texans. That was really good, Caden.
I can't take credit for that.
I know.
I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, I did too. It's okay. We'll credit to at Ksum.
Right.
Follow him on Instagram. No. Who you got for this one?
The Broncos didn't look good last week, but I don't think it says too much about the Broncos. I think the Seahawks might surprise people. I mean, I don't think they're going to be a good team, but I think Geno Smith is better than what everyone was giving him credit for. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't think the Broncos are going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be phenomenal in any aspect, but the Texans are bad. They know they're going to be bad because they punted the ball in overtime with like 30 seconds to go at the 50, showing that we just want to tie. We don't care.
Yeah.
Texans aren't good. They might be the worst team in the league this year. And the Broncos have Russell Wilson. I think they were so expected to win last game that they're all like almost a little shocked and like, wow, like we need to fix that. So they probably came in focused, mentally, like let's turn the tide. We're 0-0. We're gonna get 1-0. Start 1-0 this week. Like I think the Broncos will beat them pretty good.
I'm of the same mindset. I'm like, there's no way the Texans. I'm putting this one up. Put it back down.
Shoot, my bad.
I'm like, there's no way the Texans walk away with this one.
Yeah.
At all.
Earlier I said like I looked ahead and I was like, there's a lot of games that we can be different on, but there's really not. The more that I looked at it in the beginning of this week and I was like, ooh, that's a tough. Like that'll be a good game. That'll be a good game. But there's a couple like a decent amount of games are like, oh, like that team's gonna win. I mean, we could be wrong.
I mean, we were like that last week too, and it ended up going pretty crazy.
Right. Next game, I don't think it's going to be close at all. Some people think it is. Raiders and Cardinals. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about this one. So, the night before the Chiefs game last week, Kyler Murray was clearly up playing Call of Duty, and then did not show up for the game.
Right.
He was non-existent throughout that entire game, and the Chiefs bodied them. And then the Raiders played the Chargers, and Chargers won. It was semi-close, but they ended up winning. And Devonta Adams had, as many yards as the entire Packers receiving core. So, in the end, I'm going to take the Raiders. I feel like you're probably going to take the Raiders too. I'd be surprised if you didn't, but I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one. I don't think that the Cardinals looked very good at all. Like, not even to the point where they could be like, they didn't look good, but they could come back week 2. Like, it was really bad.
The Cardinals did?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Raiders played the Chargers last week and lost, but we both said Chargers are a great team. Mm-hmm. I think Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. But so going from a great team like that it was a close game. Like, they made it. It was competitive. Going from that to the Cardinals, who are a respectable team, but got obliterated by the Chiefs. I mean, you're going from Herbert to Murray, 2 different playing styles. He more of a runner. But I also think the Raiders' defensive line is good enough to contain Murray from running around, and they don't got enough receivers because D-Hop is suspended.
Yeah.
So I don't think they have enough receivers to just, like, air raid on them and dominate them in the air. And Chandler Jones, revenge game. He's going back and playing the Cardinals now after being on the Cardinals last season. Now he's on the Raiders. So I think he'll want to get to Murray a decent amount. I think he will, but I think the Raiders will beat him pretty handily. I mean, I could be wrong, but I really think the Raiders will just run away with this one. I mean, yeah.
Does it change your mind at all that Zach Ertz will be playing?
Zach Ertz? Why does that matter?
No, just trying to point that out. Maybe it would have swayed you a little bit.
I mean, he played last week.
He was hurt last week, though.
Was he?
Yeah.
He got...
Yeah, he was still hurt, though. Of course, Zach Ertz. No, yeah, it doesn't change my mind at all.
Doesn't, no.
The Raiders are going to...
Raiders' skill positions are too good.
Yeah.
And the Cardinals' defense is not good enough. If they're not good enough to stop the Chiefs' skill positions, then they're definitely not good enough to stop the Raiders' skill positions.
Could not agree more.
Right.
Be shocked if the Raiders did not win.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one I actually do think is going to be close or interesting.
Yeah.
Seahawks at 49ers. So I know that they're calling for another game of a lot of rain for the 49ers, which I know they're going to have maybe back-to-back games with crazy rain, but what's your thoughts?
I forget if it was Benchwarmer Brand or Tom Grassi that made the joke, but he made the joke that they were saying all offseason that Trey Lance was on fire, to which the Bears countered with water, and it was very effective. So if they're calling for rain again, that could be a problem. Man, it's really difficult because in the episode where we predicted, the playoffs and how teams would look in their divisions and all that stuff, I was like, oh man, I think the 49ers are going to go pretty far, but they looked really bad against the Bears. Now, it was a crazy weather game. It was Trey Lance's first real game as he's the lead guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks, though.
Wow, that's exactly what I was doing.
No shot. You're picking the Seahawks.
It hurts me because I picked the Niners to win the division and go to the Super Bowl, which, it could still happen. It's only week 2, but they looked bad last week against the Bears team who's supposed to be the worst in the league. Them or the Seahawks, funny enough. But Geno Smith really surprised me last week. He surprised probably most of the world. The Broncos, they're not just a mediocre, they're supposed to be a good team. They got a good defense. Their offense is supposed to be great now with Russell Wilson, Judy, Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams. And they held them to 16 points?
Yeah.
Something like that? Yeah. Granted, the Broncos did fumble a lot at the 1 yard line. Obviously,
poor Russell Wilson in that 1 yard line.
Obviously, if none of those happen, the Broncos win that game. But
yeah.
Trey Lance is still only 2 games into the season, and then also with now another potential crazy rain game, the Seahawks. I keep saying that. The Niners didn't look good in that last week. And I don't know. I just got another feeling, kind of like how I had a feeling about the Steelers last week, and that ended up being right. So I'm just not gonna gonna not go with my gut.
I have that feeling, and last week I did not go with the feeling because I thought the facts don't care about my feelings, and they would outweigh that. But in the end, my feeling was right, and I was wrong for choosing the facts. So I'm gonna go with my feeling again.
Yeah. It hurts me because I picked the Niners to be incredible this year, but
not doing the punishment is more important than sticking to my principles.
Yeah.
All right.
People are going to see this and be like, wow, these guys have no credibility.
I know, right? They're everywhere. We go week by week, guys. No, we have this all planned out. We are geniuses. Masterminds for sure. All right. Bears at Packers, the last of the Sunday games.
Yeah.
It's the Sunday night game. The Packers did not look good. The Bears did look good. Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears.
He does.
What is the outcome of this game going to be, Caden?
I said this on Monday, and I'll say it again. Last year, the Packers looked awful in week 1 against the Saints, and they looked awful again this Sunday, or last Sunday, I guess, against the Vikings. Obviously, this team is a lot different than last year's Packers team because no Devontae Adams. They have really no receivers that are big name guys.
Yeah.
But Lazard should be back this week. He's questionable, but I'm expecting him to play. And the Bears, we said they looked good last week, but the Niners looked really bad. They didn't play great. The Bears did.
Yeah.
The Bears didn't play great.
Not at
the
all.
Niners played awful. So I think the Packers, Rodgers is not going to let the Bears beat him. He's owned them for his whole career, and I don't think he's going to let them beat him. Sunday night, home opener for the Packers in Green Bay.
He will throw and catch the ball if necessary.
Yeah, seriously. Let's just let him run around. I got the Packers.
Fair enough, I do too. Which I'm sure is a shock to absolutely nobody. All right. First of the Monday night games, 7:15 game. Titans at Bills. What are your thoughts on the game, Caden?
Yeah, so there's 2 Monday night games this week. There's one that starts at 7:15, 7:20.
Yeah.
And then the other one's at 8:20. So I don't know why they split it up that way, but First one is Titans-Bills. Bills, like we said, looked phenomenal last Thursday, and now they're coming off of 10 days rest.
Yeah.
Great defense, great offense. And the Titans, on the other hand, looked the opposite. They lost to the Giants. Derrick Henry got owned. Saquon cooked them. It's at Buffalo for their home opener, and their fans are like crazy now because like they got high hopes now.
Bills
And
Mafia can go
they
crazy.
already were crazy, but now they got even more high hopes.
Yeah.
I think the Bills will run away with it.
I agree. Titans did not look good, and the fact that they couldn't beat the Giants.
I mean, I don't
says
think
a
the
lot.
Titans are a bad team. I just think the Bills are
The
phenomenal.
Bills are phenomenal, so it doesn't matter who they're going to play. I'm going to pick them almost every time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us will correctly pick a Bills loss because I might pick them every single week. And then the last Monday night game, last game of the week.
Yep.
Should be a good one. Vikings and Eagles.
Yeah.
Who do you got? I already know. I have a very strong opinion about this one, but
All right. That's interesting to hear. Very strong opinion. Jalen Hurts last week picked up right where he left off, being an absolute stud. And the Vikings, smushed the Packers.
smush.
I was trying to think of what I was gonna go with like a thromped the Packers, but I didn't know if that was a word, and I didn't want to get corrected.
I wouldn't have corrected you.
But like you said, the Packers don't look good in week 1 games for some reason. And the Eagles did look good against Detroit, who is a pretty solid team, even though I did pick them to lose this week. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to take this one.
That makes me really upset because I'm also going with the Eagles. I really wanted you to pick the
on
Vikings.
so much this week.
That makes me really upset. But Kirk Cousins in his career on primetime games, especially Monday night games, is like 1 in like 14. Like terrible in primetime games. Like, I mean, obviously it's a whole new regime now. Like regime. That's a word. Like whole new system now. Like they're letting Kirk Cousins cook. They're throwing it to Jefferson.
Yeah.
They're improved off of last year, I think. But Eagles, I do think, are a great team. I think the Vikings are going to be good this year too. But
yeah,
Kirk Cousins Monday night in primetime history just scares me so much. And it's at Philly, and those Philly fans are crazy, and they'll show out. And I think it's going to be a really good game. But I think Kirk Cousins makes a mistake towards the end of the game, and the Eagles capitalize and win. And that makes me upset. We had a lot of similar picks.
We are very much the same.
We had how many different picks? We had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Wow.
But you know what? No matter what, so if I get all 4 of those games right,
We're tied.
we're tied at 10 or whatever we're at, because then we
Right.
pick the same. So, could tie it up this week. Maybe that was intentional on my part to pick 4 different ones and then agree with you the rest of the time.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm looking forward. Now I'm able to see all the games because I won't be at the Panthers game, so now I can watch
Right.
all the games. I mean, not saying I don't want to be at the Panthers game, but
Right.
if you can get me tickets, I'll head down there right now. But I'm looking forward to be able to watch all the games like fully instead of just
Right.
like the YouTube highlights.
Yeah. Should be exciting.
It is.
Excited for week 2. Glad that football's back again. All right. So that does it for episode 11, week 2 pick'ems. Again, as always, you can let us know what you think about our picks. Go ahead and comment on YouTube, Instagram, wherever. Let us know what you think we got right and what we got wrong. We're looking forward to hearing from you guys and looking forward to see how correct we are yet again. Catch you guys next week. Thank you for watching another episode of K&A Football. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and you can listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to listen to our last video, literally just click our page and go to it. You're already on the page. It's not that hard. Just go find it. Peace.